All right. It's December 4th, 2011 is Reality Supreme Being on a Sunday. It's California time. It's 1:45, well, 1:48. And we're doing another 15-minute video. I'd like to cover a few subjects now on a more calm note. Time. I was watching Meet the Press this morning and heard, Kane bow out of the. They commented on him bowing out of the election because of the false reports that he claims, of having an affair. And I've mentioned my view on that in some of the previous videos. I'd like to thank the people who recently have viewed the last 3 videos, God's Real Message, because it isn't God. I got to really show you people that there are people walking on this planet now that have had more contacts with what this thing, or things, plural, that claim to be God or gods. What's really difficult with any YouTube project is, and I've mentioned this before, sexist. Anything involving sex or models is going to get the most views. And I mean almost immediately. Because guys are geared for 90% sexual activity. 90% of their psychology is geared for that. Whereas women's are more for reproductive and how to be taken care of. Now that's changing, of course. But it still doesn't erase the fact that you've made for yourselves a very complex world. It's like me and my, how the city of Los Angeles and the county had persecuted me because I collect a lot of stuff. In the past, I was doing movie props. So what? You people want to squeeze a person to death and keep them from ever being successful in whatever they're doing. Especially people like me, who are generally smarter than your average person walking on the street, who's probably luckier than me because they don't have as much stuff in their head and know how many truths, Truths, plural, truths, there really are. And how much disinformation is out there to make you unaware or not look at those truths. Even if you arrive at them at your own conclusion. There's so much disinformation out there that even if you found out what the most utmost top secret stuff is in the government about any subject, doesn't matter what it is, from alien UFOs and all of that down to how the White House operates, how the Congress operates, and what secrets are being kept about Iraq and Afghanistan, and so on and so forth. Even if you found out, you wouldn't know which one it is. There's an old Irish story about a leprechaun who was caught, and they wouldn't let him go until and this is just a rough version, okay? I'm not giving the exact version, but it's just to save time. And the person wouldn't let him go. He says, I'm only going to let you go when you tell me until you tell me where that pot of gold is. Where did you bury it? And he said, well, I buried it under a tree in the forest over there. And he says, well, you tell me where it is, because I'm not going to let you go till you tell me. Okay, I buried it under a tree in the forest over there. All you got to do is just go, Yeah, and I have a yellow ribbon tied around the tree. So you know where it is. It's there. Now please let me go. So he let him go. He goes to the forest. And every tree, thousands of trees, has a yellow ribbon tied around it. So knock yourself out, everybody. You're going to have a hell of a time trying to find out what the real truth is or where that pot of gold is. So here I am 4 minutes into this 15-minute video, and I'm not going to get elected president or even get major media attention, which I should have had a long time ago. And my twin should have had it when he first ran. Because this government would not be anywhere near the fiasco damages that it has put itself in and the damages it has caused to multi-millions of citizens in this country. But, I was talking earlier with a friend of mine, and I said, you can talk your philosophy, you can talk the garbage and do the jive talk and do this and that, and you can talk your philosophies to death. about every subject under the sun. Until you make a movement, a motion to actually try and change it, it isn't going to change. And I've given people the answer, but you don't want to do it. All you got to do is get on the internet, follow my advice. When the government comes to you, say, why are you listening to him? And you tell him, because he makes sense and you don't, and he's censored on the national news media. If enough people get together and demand to hear me and hear all of my philosophy, not the ranting and raving you've seen over the last 80 videos. I'm talking in a more calm mode right now because, truthfully, I suffer from a situational depression that your country caused on me. You ever watch Star Trek? They had all this problem in the movies with the Borg. Q, the supreme being, introduced the original Star Trek crew to the Borg and doomed them from the very start because the Borg was an evil collective. But if you compare the Borg to the United States of America, they're the same. Resistance is futile. If you're an American, we'll keep you here. You have to work to get out of here. You have to work to get a passport. We don't kick you out. You have to work to get out of here. These people are so evil. They have set up a government at the state, federal, and local level that undermines any valuable interpretation of civil rights anywhere that you go. The only people that enjoy civil rights, multimedia, all the media, newspaper, radio, and TV, it doesn't matter what they talk about. Even the ones that say they're against the government, and the government has all these evil problems, they're with them also because they're on the air. You get a person who starts talking like me, they're not going to want to put me on the air because I'm a no-nonsense guy. I have zero tolerance for people who do drugs, drink, smoke, do all that crap to themselves, and then bitch about the country that they're in. I don't do any of that, and I was attacked continually. Go listen to all my videos. The point I'm making is, if a citizen really wants to change things, it can't be done by one person. I was just telling a buddy of mine, trying to go against the United States of America is equivalent to that scenario they talk about in Revelations in the Bible, where it says the beast. Who can match against it? Who can make war against? Who can defeat the beast? Nobody can defeat the beast. And in that scenario, in Revelations, it says that the beast is destroyed in one day, and everybody in the world is crying about that. Now, I already told everybody in Revelations 13, that explains who the beast is. The beast is the United States of America. They came over on the Mayflower. They rose out of the sea. This is my interpretation. I handed out to the, we actually, my twin, and I got wind of it afterwards, he handed it out to the Hands Across America. And it explained, interpreted Revelation 13. He printed the Bible part, and then he put arrows across and said, and made exact matches to what America was. And the Mayflower rising out of the sea, the beast having 7 heads and 10 horns. Well, when the United States, America, was first founded, after the Revolution, George Washington, his vice president, and 5 cabinet members equals 7 heads of state. As the presidential office grew, it grew with, in this biblical interpretation that I made. It said that it was a beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. Well, when you count, horns are something that grows into the head. So I interpreted it as these horns don't exist yet when the beast first appeared. And when the office was instituted, you have 10 horns appearing in the president's cabinet. So by the time Reagan came to office, there were 17 cabinet members. Well, counting the president and the vice president. So you now have a beast with 17 representations of what the beast is talked about in the Bible. 7 heads and 10 horns. But that's just an interpretation anybody can make. But let's go to another subject and talk about real interpretation. Interpretation of civil rights. Interpretations of using the color of law to violate a person's rights to a point that it knocks them down the financial ladder and causes financial ruin. to people like me, to my older twin, to all of the people that have had the same experiences I have had. And they're all horrible experiences. And there's nothing that I can do about it. Because I'm fighting or trying to fight a beast that, first of all, is so huge you can't get past him. I need more than a slingshot than what David had with Goliath to defeat this beast. And this slingshot is not going to be full of rocks. The slingshot I'm carrying to really bring this beast down has to be the people of the United States. You and your ability to chain letter or contact all your friends and ask them to contact their friends and make this happen. All you have to do is tell the government, we're going to take all our money out of the banks. We're going to not pay our taxes next year. And the only way that we'll agree to put our money back in the bank and pay our taxes is if you not let Caesar become emperor of the United States. Otherwise, we're going to withhold our money until he becomes the emperor of the United States. A new office that is above the president, above the Congress, that can literally, with one word, boom, knock it all down if it makes no sense. Now, you've got a house of cards built here in your financial industry across the whole country, your tax industry. You've got Mitt Romney, Obama, and his entourage, and all these people with all these experts, supposedly. But do we ever get to really talk to the experts that these people are talking to? Do we ever get to grade them or test them on how much they really do know? On how much they can guarantee you, the citizen, that whatever initiatives whatever wheels in motion that they start, and any new initiatives or plans, that it's going to work? Do the people have any kind of guarantee? No. You get guarantees with your cars, your video, you get guarantees, and I'm talking electronic guarantees, with equipment, computers, radios, TVs. You get guarantees, and most of them are all limited. They're not lifetime. Very few companies give lifetime guarantees anymore. There are some left. Sears, for instance, you break a tool, you take it in, they'll give you another one across the table. Not ask you for a receipt, not ask you for any proof. They just give you another one. But beyond that, there's no guarantees. I can give you a guarantee that if the complete unanimous people of the United States, even those that say they don't like me and they don't like the way I talk, I mean, how many of you like the way Lincoln looked? Most people vote for a candidate because of the way they look. Come on. I've already covered that in all the other videos. You people are guilty of killing innocent men, women, and children. Do you believe in bad karma? Because I'm telling you, you yourself, when you know you've done wrong or you've contributed in this collective, this Borg collective that really represents the United States, you've done evil. So has Bush, so has all the previous presidents, congressmen, representatives. You've all done evil, either through neglect or through direct impeding of a person's life or persons' lives. So my advice to you is you need to get behind somebody that really knows their stuff, to put them in that place of ultimate and total responsibility. Because it's like what Cliff Robertson told Spider-Man, with great power, great authority demands ultimate responsibility. And what kind of person carries that kind of responsibility? Obama? He's actually signed military executive orders that told the military to bomb this and bomb that, to go kill Osama bin Laden. I wouldn't have killed Osama bin Laden. I would have captured him alive. I want to know what's going on. Was it possible to capture Obama alive? Osama bin Laden? Oh, yeah, absolutely. With my plans as absolute leader of the military of the United States, oh, yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't have had to have fired a shot to do it. That's the most amazing thing. They would have given up immediately. Not very happily, but I guarantee you they would have given up. But the point I'm making is where does this go? I have to do part two in a minute. We're 15 minutes, so I'll start you with the part two.